Hello. This is Kimberly from Are You Awakening? And we are continuing on with our discussion about empaths and how you can actually handle living on Earth. Huh? So many star seeds are like, I can't handle this. These people are crazy. Crazy. Well, yeah. Yep. So, with that said, let's talk about today's word, and that word is judgment. All right, let's talk about it. I love judgment. You know why? Because it wakes you up. So let's talk about number one, the ego. Whose ego is it that's judging? Talk about rabbit hole stuff here. Whose ego is it that's judging? Now, you as an empath, you are, let's say you're hanging out having some coffee and someone walks by and they just trigger you. All right. Me, I'll tell you what triggers me. What triggers me is people who walk their dogs in a carriage. Drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. Now I understand that pavement gets hot and all that stuff. And I do love those little shoes that they put on them. They're just adorable. But for some reason, just these people that obviously don't have kids or their kids are grown and they put their little adorable dogs. Now, I'm not saying these dogs aren't adorable. Okay. They're all adorable. They put them in these little carriages and they push them around. Now, there is absolutely no reason that I can think of for me to judge that person. They love their dog. They don't want their dog to, get their feet burnt on the sidewalk, perhaps, or maybe they want to be closer to them. What the idea is here is that it's not really my ego that has anything to do with this. Okay. What it really is I might be judging his ego. Who does this person think he is? He doesn't think a dog can walk on the sidewalk? Well, of course the dog can walk on the sidewalk, but does the dog have to walk on the sidewalk? Now I know I'm getting a little nitpicky here, but I want to bring up ego. I really want to bring up ego, and I want you to, because we're going to go on about how empaths can totally beat themselves up about judgment. Okay, so the ego part, I want you to take a look when you judge someone next time and say, what are you really judging? Is it because you feel less than that person, because you feel more than that person, or is it something actually different than that? All right, that leaves a gigantic question mark. And that takes us to number two, which is contrast. So lucky us, we chose to come to Earth here. We chose to be in human bodies. We chose to forget all of our magnificence and all of the fantastic qualities that a soul has when they're unencumbered with the human condition, right? But it would be really boring. It would be really boring. We came to Earth because we wanted contrast, because we wanted those challenges. We wanted those guys pushing their dogs, their adorable dogs. We wanted that woman dressed that way, or we wanted that guy cutting us off in traffic. Those are things that we have planned, right? Now, when you bring judgment back into something that you've planned, now you've got to take a look at judgment in a different way. Okay. So the contrast is here for us to take a look at it and say, oh, I'm going to grow from this. This is badass. The dog is adorable. The guy obviously loves it. What is it in me that's sending this up? And how am I going to grow from it? Yeah. All right. Well, that brings us on to number three, which is self-recrimination. Probably one of the biggest comments I get on my YouTube channel is, I should have known better. I'm not learning. How could I have done that again and again? Why is this happening to me? Well, contrast is why it's happening to you, but it's also for you to stop beating yourself up. All right? That's judgment. And judgment is so easy to miss when you're judging yourself. So easy to make that connection that somebody else, you're judging someone else and you should know better. Well, you should nothing. I hate that word. I use the word hate. I really dislike that word. I use the word dislike. I really just don't love the word should, because there really truly is no should when you came here to create your life through contrast and to learn how to love yourself again. Okay. So I should know better, immediate self judgment. Ask yourself how many times you do it. And if you do it, then love yourself for recognizing that you do it and then move on. Huh? Yeah. Right. Next, when you're misaligned, how does that feel? For instance, I look at the guy. I know I'm working on judgment. Another adorable dog comes by in a carriage. I do it again. How do I feel? I feel like my gut sinks. Like, oh, Kimberly, are you ever going to learn? Are you ever going to learn? What kind of starseed are you? What kind of loving being are you? Bam. There's my judgment. Okay. Now I've learned. Now I'm growing because I recognized it right there. So I went from the cute, adorable dog to beating myself up to recognizing it by the gut sink. It may be different for you, but for me, I can feel it like, oh, it's that. It's that again. Right. So, how you help humanity is every time you recognize that you've judged yourself, you've grown. And when you grow, the rest of humanity grows with you. It's very big, it's gigantic, and it's tiny at the same time because you don't always see that part going out to the world. All right. But we're talking about energy here. We're talking about people who every single time they make a positive change in themselves, it affects all of us. Yeah. Huh. All right. So, your final note. Perfect is boring. Oh my gosh. We don't want to be perfect. We're eternal. We came here to be imperfect. We came here to deal with those judgments. We came here to enjoy the contrast. We came here to learn from it and not expect that we came here as perfect beings. All right. We got a long time to get perfect. So laugh at it a little bit more, pet the cute little dog, give yourself a hug, go buy a new coffee, hang out, send out some love, and send it in as well. All right. Well, that's enough for today. Don't forget, always be yourself all the time. Love.